Alright, here we go. So this is my failed game to become a pro in the quarterfinals of the tournament in Strasbourg against Dominic Boviz, young 6 dan, and quite a solid player, I'd say. Recently he played pretty well, but I probably this was the most uninspired game I played in the tournament, and it happens sometimes. So I was black. So far so good. He attacked me right away. Now in this position you can already think about several moves, like Kosumi here to avoid being pressed, or Keima, and then I guess white will just take the empty corner. Now the whole point for white playing the exchange in the top right, p17, is to prevent black from taking the shimari. So if he takes the empty corner right away, which is very common, black will probably take the shimari either like this or like this. And this is very modern Fuseki style. So in order to prevent that happening, white played the approach first. And then I was thinking, okay, I don't want to answer your approach just to, you know, let white dominate the Fuseki, dictate the rhythm. So I took the empty corner, and I took it with a 5-3 move to be a little more creative, let's say. And of course white didn't care, so he put some pressure here. Now this move usually leads to Taisha Joseki, the Joseki with 1000 variation, the so-called 1000 variation Joseki. So black can react locally with an attach to separate Kosumitsuke, or simply double up here to prevent all the complicated variations. If this happens, it's a basic Joseki with 3 moves each, so very simple. I think we played this particular Joseki in a tournament not too long ago in Bratislava. So this time I wanted to play something else, not to be, you know, boring and play the same thing on and on. Also, you know, when attaching here, white can wedge, and then there are 2 options for black: connect down or connect up. Connecting up, it's to go for outside influence, and the ladder should work for this particular Joseki. And the ladder I'm talking about is when black plays this Atari, and in this case it's working because it goes in diagonal all the way to d4 area where black has a stone. So white either plays this one or turns, or plays Atari under. Let's say if white goes out, black captures the stone, threatening to take 2 stones in the corner, and white protects. So this is a basic Joseki, but it's considered slightly better for white because locally white gets a nice profit in the corner and black has some thickness, and it's also open here or here, so white can jump or approach, and it's also clear how much black will profit with the outside group, but white has a lot of territory in the corner already, so that's more comfortable to be white in this particular variation. Now let's see another basic pattern. For example, black connects down on the 3rd line, white cuts, now black goes out, white defends, blocks the corner, black has to go out, white can connect, white can also play Nobi here, or can play Nobi this way. There are many variations, but just to look at the most basic one, when white connects solid, black goes out, white slides, so it prevents to be surrounded, black jumps out, white has to do something with the stones in the middle because they are pretty heavy, so one jump here, then another jump in the other direction, and black has to go out too. So this is considered pretty much like the standard pattern on the Taisha Joseki. Something to remember. And of course there are these modern Josekis when white plays the Hane, then Nobi, then takes the corner, plays one exchange here, and then he plays away. For example, approaches this corner, because already white took the top right corner in center and black has some kind of potential towards the right side. And here I guess black should play a pincer in order to make use of his stones on the outside. These are all possible variations, but I rejected all of them and I just played away again. So here I'm thinking, even if white plays more moves in the top right corner, he eventually ends up being a bit slack with the fuseki, because in the meantime black will spread the stones all over the board. That's my way of thinking here. And of course he plays another move, so he doesn't let me choose any kind of variation in that corner soon. And here I can still play locally, for example no b, then push to create some cutting points, try to make a base, hane to live in the corner, white needs to protect against the cuts, and black also plays the vital point to stay alive. This is all possible, and this still leaves the idea of cut later on. So white gets some thickness on both sides, but black leaves quite comfortable in the corner. This could happen, and actually it's quite recommended. Because now I played away again, going for the most open side, which is the left side in this case. Then I had to pull back, and now white adds another move in the corner, so that corner looks pretty wide now. It's difficult to go out with a stone and leave immediately. This will result in a dead formation, just like that, or maybe hane. Actually doesn't really matter, because if black plays here, he is the dead L formation, the group is dead as it stands. So it's difficult to leave in the corner right away, but maybe later I can approach here to use a little bit the agi of that stone. But for now white invested 4 stones in that corner, so he built something like 15 points solid, plus the outside influence, and well, most of his stones are focused on one side. So overall it's still okay, the fuseki, because now black can play a big move here. This happened in the actual game, but in fact it's more interesting to take another shimari. I've been told by the pros that shimari would be the first choice here, and also Lila Zero has the same opinion, take one of the corner moves. Even this one looks interesting, works well with the extension at D11, so I should consider taking the second shimari. But for some reason I thought even if I take the shimari, white is happy to approach on the right side, and he just expands the strong formation on the right. So in order to prevent his approach, I thought it's more urgent to make a small extension and limit white's influence towards the right side by taking this point. Well, that was the judgment, not necessarily the best option. And now of course white tries to prevent the second shimari forming, and I play active at the pincer, but here I could simply protect the corner. This is one possible joseki, and normally I need Kosumi here. This is old school. Or I can push one time, Kosumi again, and then expand the moe on the left side with this Keima. But I felt it's going to be a little bit slow for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's not. Looks still playable for both sides. So I want it to be a little more active with the pincer. And now it's natural for white to take the Kosumi. Black extends on the left side. This is a move to prevent the shoulder hit at d6. So if I just extend here, he can put pressure like that, for example. So I'm thinking if I go d7, I put more pressure on the 2 stones. Now he needs to kick. And the most common move now for white is to go down or to play Kosumi. And then if he plays one of these moves, I can extend on the middle of the bottom side. So that looks quite ideal, because I get to develop the left side and also get a nice extension on the bottom, which works really well with the lower right shimari. Or if I want to be more active, I can play something like this. The AlphaGo famous shoulder hit, in order to reduce the top side. So these were all possible options, but white chose to play this shoulder hit. And this is probably the first time in the game where it's like a critical moment and I have to think more. Therefore, I spent some time here and I decided to push to keep white separated. White went up. Maybe white should hane, but it can get tricky with a cut. So it's kind of complicated. And here I think I was a little bit chicken. I should push one more. and then try to punish white for not defending the corner. But instead, I just turn. This is not the greatest choice. So pushing one more time and then play this move. If white protects this way, I don't have to cut one stone. Cutting one stone gives white center. He will play Atari, which is a bad shape for black. So white is alive in the corner, and now he has to do something with the 3 stones. Maybe extend around here. But I can play more aggressive. I can play this kind of move. And in this case, white has a problem in the corner. Because now if he blocks here, I can cut, and now he has to leave, which is painful. And that way, I get some profit in center, and I also have time to attack the 3 heavy stones. This would be ideal for black. And if white tries to resist too much, for example, connecting here, black pulls back, white goes down, black hane, and connect. Now we end up with the L formation again, so white is simply dead in the corner. Luckily, there is only one eye, and trying to go out, it's not so easy. This will result in a dead shape for white in the corner. Black can even jump to space actually, because here I'm connected under. So this would be much better for black. Therefore, I regret for not pushing again at g5. And this is a key point. White could actually play Keima. This is the classic way to make some sabaki, a very light shape. But now he decided to play this one. Probably it's the pressure of the tournament importance at this stage, because it's already a single elimination from the last state in the tournament. Now the shape white got here, it's quite heavy, an empty triangle. And instead of jump, I should actually play Keima. This is a much better shape. And then if white goes down to protect, maybe I go Kosumi or I play away. Actually, I don't mind if white plays this move, I can push and cut. Not a problem. Make some nice territory on the bottom side. Well, I jump, trying to gain more. And actually, white can push one more time. And now his shape is quite okay. And if I don't profit too much in the corner by playing this move and e2, then it's tough already. So white took another big point. It starts to look good on the top side, not so easy to invade. Even that, overall, black has a sun invasion, this kind of point, this one, or even n17, or something around there, for example, m16. But we will see later when I try to activate r16 RG. So right now, I try to punish the corner, because white overplayed and he never defended. And here I was quite uninspired too. When he played this move, b3, I should still use the vital point of e2. Because if he blocks like that, I can Atari first. And when he captures one stone, I also capture one stone. So in the end, let's suppose we have this variation. White is still in trouble. Well, it's a call locally. But let's suppose we do it this way. And then he needs to make 2 eyes. So that's quite painful. Another way would be if I play here and he plays the hane, I can push one time. And if he jumps, I can push again or cut. So I keep taking profit in the corner while he's scrolling on the second line. Besides, if I get strong enough, it's easy to attack the K5 group with a cap. Anyway, I played Atari and then I don't really have a follow-up. Because if I play this move right now, he can just take one stone and leave. So it's no big deal. Therefore, I decided to leave it like this for now. And we'll see later how we can use the cut at e3 or peep at e2. So the actual game was the turn. Well, maybe instead of the turn, I should attack with a cap right away. And when he plays this move, I just play Keima. Because if he plays the hane, I can cut. I'm strong enough to fight. So he needs to Nobi again. And then I push, and I just make territory while keeping pressure on this group. And after I got all these stones in the middle, it's maybe much easier to invade the top. But I wasn't really sure how to attack that group, so I turn once, and then I'm thinking I want to attack with k9 or maybe l9 or maybe m9. I wasn't really sure which move to choose on this line. So before then, I thought, okay, I should prepare a little bit. So I was playing r13, hoping he would just defend against the Agi and then decide how to attack here, you know. But White had some fighting spirit and he counter attacks with this invasion. But it's not a problem, because in fact I have time to play the extension in Sente. If now White, for example, covers or I don't know, jumps, or he plays any other move to continue with his invasion, I will Hane and leave in the corner, or take one stone like this. And even if I lose the 2 stones in the corner, I leave on the side. Or I can protect, he connects, attach, and then the corner is fine. In fact, I made a mistake here. This way better. So I don't need another move to leave in the corner. So there's a lot of Agi there, but White went down and prevents that. So I attach. I'm trying to set up some kind of wall on the right side before attacking the middle group. So I make some noise on the west to kill the east, but I don't kill the east or the center. So that's an interesting exchange, r3, just to as a probe to see how black reacts. Then White got some profit on the side. I wasn't sure if the turn is Sente or not. Maybe he doesn't answer, he will go out, and if I play here he will just connect under. And actually I reduced a little bit, but I didn't gain much in the end. So I start the attack right away. Probably still better to play this one and look at the cutting point. Hard to choose the exact spot. And this felt good. I kind of connect to my stones in the center. But now White is pretty much out. So here I hesitated. I spent some time. I kept looking at h8, but I didn't use it. The options are, for example, if I attach right away and he plays the Hane on the left, I pull back, and now when he pulls back I can cut. So somehow White is still without eyes and has to run a little bit inside the moyo, moves like this. So maybe this fight can be profitable for black. And if he cuts just to fix the group like this and Atari and go down, I can sacrifice the 2 stones, which gives White eye shape in the middle. But once I cut here, I get a lot of profit in the middle, so I don't worry about this cut anymore. If he cuts here, I can just jump again in the center. Nothing happens. The shape is fine. So all of a sudden I can say I build all this lower right quarter of the board, and that's a lot of territory. This would be comfortable for black. But instead I hesitated and decided to invade the top and use the Agi of the cornerstone. But actually here I can try to do it right away, just attach. If he cuts, we have this fight anyway. Oh wait, I can even play Atari in the corner first. Because if he connects here and I take this one, I just leave in the corner. Well, it's a 2 points life, but I destroy like 15-20 points of territory White could have in that corner. For some reason I tried to prepare a little bit that Agi. I'm not sure it was that brilliant after all. Because now I lose the invasion around h17 or the Tsuke or other options once he blocks at k17. And now I expected him to block on the outside, protect, and let me leave small in the corner. And probably even if this happens, it feels like White builds a lot in the top. So I don't know about this m17. Maybe it's not the best choice. But White tried to play a more resisting variation, which is nice with the squeeze. And now I counter attack. So here actually White should go down. And then when I know B, he can take those 3 stones anytime, but probably he doesn't even need them. I think when he allowed me play this Atari and even capture the 2 stones, we can say that that invasion is quite a success. So white's corner is not that big anymore. But this cut starts to hurt black. And now I don't feel like just playing several times here to give the stones on the right. It's expensive because maybe I don't get too much compensation. Now this area would be too small, those stones in the middle. So I defend the right side and try to attack everything, but it's not so easy anymore because now my group in the middle is also kind of weak. So he fought pretty well here. Well, if I just go out, the shape is too good for white, so I need to try some kind of squeeze play. Actually, white can push again because the group in the middle is pretty weak. He let me turn and then it's feels good. Oh wait, because I can squeeze a little bit, but still, if we look all over the board, maybe white has the first chance to win this game now. Even that I still felt my territory is quite nice in the lower right and the left side can become big, but I got those weak groups in the top and in the middle, and that can cost me soon. Therefore I play this kind of move to protect my groups in the center indirectly. I expected white to play something like this, but probably it's good to take away liberty and make more space for life in the top. And the sun invasion is quite normal. Oh, I never got to play here earlier in the game. I could attach and Hana and so on. This kind of follow-up. Probably now Sansan is okay to destroy more. Now white is trying to use the Agi of R3, that proof that he played long time ago. So crosscut is a good move. If I play, for example, the other extension, white can go Atari and descend, and then he simply lives in the corner. And my profit on the outside is not so great because I still need some moves to enclose this area. Therefore I get like 4 or 5 points and I lose 20 in the corner. So I try to resist harder, going down. Now here white is already in Bioyomi and I didn't take advantage of this. Going up was a bad decision. I should simply play this one, and if white plays Atari to take 1 stone, then I can play this Kosumi, or I just leave it for now and play another move to reinforce the bottom right corner. This is nice. If we count the territory here, it's a lot. On the bottom it's something like almost 40 points in this area, plus the points on the left side, about 20. And if I just make small life in the top and small life in the middle, so I'm close to 70 points. This should be good. I don't know why I hesitated here. The way, I mean, the moment I start spending more time thinking what to do to make it more complicated, actually just made it worse for myself. Yeah, it's a good decision for white. Even here, I can think of a way to resist. For example, I can play this Tsuke, and then if white tries to kill, I can go Atari, then I can play this, Atari again, then here. But the problem is, he can play this one, then this one, then he leaves. And there's another way, like Kosumi first, then we have the same kind of scenario. And this time it's going to be a ko. When he goes this way, I play Atari and he can play this ko. But probably it's still better to fight this ko than just lose the game, you know, without struggling too much. Because going under and allow white to go out and protect his group, it's giving up too much. First he got this profit in Sente, Then he went out and connected his group. So now it's more and more difficult for black, I think. But during the game I didn't realize the game is so bad for me. Now when I check in review, it's much easier. Less tournament pressure, no clock ticking. So this move is kind of desperate in a way, trying to set up a coin in the corner. But of course white is alert and he defends. Now I try to get a bit stronger in the middle, and white doesn't even care. That's a nice T2G. If I block here, he simply connects under. So that happens later. We're playing this move. Maybe I should wait a little bit and do that after starting the ko. And now I cannot even fight this ko, in fact. So I have a few forcing moves in the center. But if I lose the lower right corner, it's too much. Well, I can think about a trade. So let's say I play here, he captures, but it looks too big. All this right side. Can I leave? Let's see, Chuck. Not easy. Or maybe. But he will pull back. Tuck, tuck, tuck. This is dead. Not good. So I just give too much. So starting the code too early was a little bit hasty. And now, yeah, this was minus. I managed to protect. And there's nothing really happening. I mean, in the middle I hope I can build a lot, but in the end I keep losing points. So lack of fighting spirit this game. And I'm probably more than 10 points behind at this stage. Our score estimator doesn't know that I'm alive here. Let's check now. Still doesn't know. But anyway, that's the story of losing the quarterfinal in the Pro Qualification. So I just need to play more inspired next time. Hope you enjoyed this one.